Okay, thank you for your patience, dear participants. Thank you very much for all of you to come to this session starting from 2. We are slightly late. We are still waiting for a few presenters who will be presenting in this session, but I would like to start the session anyhow, and let's just hope that they will catch up in the program later on. So, very warm welcome. This session is titled Efforts to Realize a Sound Material Cycle Society Through Multi-Level Climate Action. This title is in connection to the Japanese Japanese government's policy on sound material circular economy, as well as multi-level climate action represents the relation between the central government and local governments. So therefore, we will be having many local government representatives here today to give their inputs. Before we start, for the housekeeping announcements, so because of the regulation of the whole of the pavilion area, we cannot make the sound larger than the current sound level. So if you have issue listening, we have a headphone. So please ask for the organizers for the headphone. The channel is number 7, and you could hear, but our session will be all in English. So please be reminded. So without further ado, I would like to start from introducing our opening remarks speech from Mr. Kazuhiko Takemoto, Chair of ICLEI Japan. So Takemoto-san, please.
Thank you, Togo, for your kind introduction. Vice Minister Matsuzawa, distinguished governors, mayors, and world leaders, on behalf of the ICLEI Japan, I am very much delighted to welcome you to this event together with IGES. Climate crisis is an urgent issue, and in these days, climate disasters have been reported frequently from around the world, which has threatened the lives of our citizens in the world. To cope with this serious situation, cities and the local governments play a crucial role in addressing climate change, since they are close to citizens' daily life and will be able to provide the citizens with the public services to maintain and improve their quality of lives. At the same time, they are in the position to create and promote innovative actions against the current and future crises caused by climate change. In COP28 of last year, under the leadership of the UAE, the Coalition for High Ambition Multilevel Partnerships, so-called CHAMP, was launched. I am pleased to learn that more than 70 countries have participated in this initiative to step up their cooperation with local governments in developing their national policies and strategies, including their NDCs. Likewise, the close collaboration between national and local government has been well shared to realize a decarbonized and sustainable society in an effective manner. In light of this, Japan has implemented a variety of initiatives through multi-level collaboration between the national and the local governments, including decarbonization, leading areas, and city-to-city collaboration program with cities in Asia and other regions. In this regard, ICLEI Japan has been fully committed to support these initiatives. I am very much honored to organize this event with the distinguished governors, mayors, and leaders from around the world today. Finally, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to conclude my remarks by wishing you all fruitful discussions through your active participation in this afternoon. Thank you very much once again. Welcome.
Takemoto-san, thank you very much. Our next opening remarks will be from Hiroshi Ono, Executive Director of IJS. Ono-san, please.
Excellencies, distinguished governors and mayors and participants, good afternoon. Sorry for my bad voice. It is my honor to deliver the opening remarks as the Executive Director of the Institute for Global Environment Strategies, or IJS, as a host organization of this event. First, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to Kazuhiko Takemoto, Chair of the ICLEI Japan, another host organization of this event. Let me also thank Yutaka Matsuzawa, Vice Minister for Global Environment Affairs, Ministry of the Environment, Japan, for co-hosting this event. I'm pleased to welcome Mayor Nuna Mohammed Sharif of Kuala Lumpur, former head of UN Habitat, Governor Yuriko Koike of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, and Mayor Hayato Shimizu of Saitama City. They have been working with us in the city-to-city collaboration for Zero Carbon Society program funded by the Ministry of the Environment, Japan, over the past few years. Furthermore, I would like to thank Secretary Yana Garcia, State of California of USA, Governor Clécio Luis of Amapá State of Brazil, and Nina Ratilainen, member of the City Council of Turku, Finland, for joining us. My gratitude also goes to Katsura Miyazaki, Executive Senior Vice President and CSO of JICA, for kindly being with us. We can't overestimate the key role and potential of subnational governments and cities in striving for net zero, where integrated and synergetic solutions for both environmental and socioeconomic challenges take place on the ground with the participation of citizens. Under the strong leadership of governors and mayors, a variety of unique actions are evolving worldwide, which have the potential to be replicated and scaled up in other cities and even national policies. IJS has supported global climate and SDG synergy efforts co-convened by UNDESA and UNFCCC since 2019. In this initiative, city is one of the key drivers for facilitating synergies. As an example, Kazuhiko Takeuchi, President of IJS and a member of the Global Expert Panel, has contributed to the publication of global synergy reports in 2023 and 2024, and took the lead in publishing a thematic reports on cities. Ladies and gentlemen, I would conclude my remarks by expressing my sincere hope that this side event will help further accelerate climate actions with the strong engagement of cities and subnational governments. Thank you very much for your attention.
Ono-san, thank you very much for that opening remarks. So now I would like to move on to the keynote speech from Yutaka Matsuzawa, Vice Minister for Global Environment Affairs, Ministry of Environment, Japan. Matsuzawa-san, please.
Good afternoon, distinguished participants. I'd like to thank ICRE Japan and the Institute for Global Environment Strategy, IGES, for organizing this valuable seminar on multi-level climate action. I'm honored to provide a keynote speech at this great opportunity. The government of Japan has been promoting various initiatives to realize net zero at the latest by 2050. In particular, cooperation with local government is regarded as particularly important, since they are close to the people directly affected by climate change, and they often are key entities for taking countermeasures. Responding to the national commitment to achieve net zero by 2050, national and local governments worked together and finally co-developed the regional government roadmap in June 2021, aiming to facilitate local decarbonization actions. Based on this roadmap, our ministry plans to designate more than 100 local areas as decarbonization leading areas, which play key roles to achieve net zero by 2030, 20 years ahead of national target year of 2050. In order to realize the achievement of net zero in these areas, the Ministry of Environment is also providing financial support and promoting collaboration among local stakeholders. We aim that such intensive local decarbonization will be transferred across the country and even beyond it. In terms of recent progress of plans and strategies, Japanese cabinet approved its 6th Basic Environment Plan in May 2024. In this plan, Government of Japan indicated the necessity to swiftly shifting its economy and society so that it can achieve sound material circular economy, net zero, and nature positive in the same time. Those three are essential elements to realize the well-being of each individual in the present and the future. Japan is preparing its next NDC with the aim of submitting it by next February. The principle of 6 Basic Environment Plan will be incorporated to the NDC. We will also accelerate consideration of our mitigation efforts so that new NDC will be consistent with the 1.5 degrees goal. The preparation of the NDC includes consultation with multi-stakeholders because collaboration with them is essential to achieve decarbonization. Needless to say, local authorities are key stakeholders. Although various challenges remain, I'm convinced that the cooperation of the national and local governments will realize decarbonized society. May today's seminar serve as a catalyst for each of us in our shared commitment to net zero and sustainable society. I look forward to continued collaboration. Thank you for your attention.
Vice Minister, thank you very much for that keynote presentation. So now we would like to have a photo session. So may I request all the speakers and moderators as well for this session to come on stage. Because we have a lot of people, we want to have 2 rows. Very good. お願いします。あ、後ろの方も。はい。Yes, please. For the governor. Do we have a governor? Occupied. Okay, we will take a photo here. Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much. So I would like to move on to the next session, which is the high-level session. So may I ask the panelists, the speakers, to come on stage and to be seated. はい、お願いします。はい、指示もよろしくお願いいたします。指示はあそこになります。Okay, so I am very excited for this high-level session because as you can see, we have a great representative of local leaders across the world. Starting from my left is Mayor Hayato Shimizu from Saitama City of Japan. We are expecting Ms. Yana Garcia, Secretary of Environmental Protection, State of California from USA, to join us later on. Next to her, we have, of course, Maimuna Muhammad Sarif, Mayor of Kuala Lumpur and also former UN Habitat Secretary General. Next to her, we have Governor Koike Yuriko, Governor of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government from Japan. And then next to her, we will have a governor from Brazil, Governor of Amapá State. He will be joining us very shortly. And then next to him, we will have Nina Latilainen, yep, from Turku, from Finland. So without further ado, I would like to start from requesting Mayor Shimizu to give his statement. じゃあ、よろしくお願いします。
Hello, everyone. I'm Hayato Shimizu, Mayor of Saitama City, Japan. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to speak here. First of all, let me briefly introduce Saitama City. Saitama City is the ninth most populous city in Japan, with an area of 217 square kilometers and a population of 1.35 million. And it's one of the most important transportation nodes in Japan, connecting the metropolitan area and major city by rail. The city is harmony with nature. Since assuming office as mayor, I have continued to implement the policy of promoting electric vehicles to reduce CO2 emissions since 2009. And in July 2020, I announced the Zero Carbon City. And in May 2021, I announced the Saitama City Climate Emergency Plan to share the sense of crisis that the climate is in state of emergency with citizens and businesses, and to act as one. And as one of the member cities of ICRE, which emit 70% of the world's greenhouse gases, we have been working to build a sustainable urban future. Today, I'd like to introduce two of our main initiatives. The first is about multi-level climate action. Cities play a very important role. As local governments in direct contact with their residents, we are called upon to develop more rapid and concrete measures. There are approximately 1,700 municipalities in Japan, of which 20 are large cities designated by government ordinance. Saitama City is one of these cities, and I have been appointed chairman of the Council of Designated City for Renewable Energy. which is comprised of these 20 cities with the aim of expanding the use of locally distributed renewable energy. In August of this year, this council discussed the ideal policy system for promoting renewable energy, compared the opinion of 20 major cities on the necessity of setting a vision and target for the realization of GX and maximum possible introduction of renewable energy, the expansion of renewable energy introduction based on the characteristic of major cities and the development of support and system. The opinion of 20 major cities were compiled and requested to the government. Second, we are working on intercity cooperation. I have organized the Saitama Sustainable City Summit in 2022 with the participation of 15 cities from 9 foreign countries and have been working with the Tokyo Metropolitan Government on an intercity cooperation project with Kuala Lumpur City. In the collaboration with KL, I introduced the decarbonized city zone that we have developed and visit KL myself to learn about its decarbonization efforts. Currently, we are using the network established here to study the use of timber through proper forest management as a sustainable architecture materials and the environmental advantage of high air tightness and high isolation in architecture. And we hope to contribute to carbon neutrality in Malaysia and other countries in the future. In order to realize measures related to decarbonization, it is important to work at multiple levels, including regional and national, and to deepen the collaborative relationship between cities and cities' cooperation with each other. We will continue our activities to promote cooperation between the national government and local governments, and we value the connection we have made with all of you gathered here today, and we will continue to strengthen intercity cooperation and take concrete action together on climate change. Finally, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all those who have contributed to this seminar. Let us continue to work hand in hand to build a sustainable and prosperous future together. Thank you very much.
Mayor Shimizu, thank you very much. The significance of the activity by Saitama City is that the major cities in Japan have been working together, and their knowledge on implementing renewable energy has been compiled as a declaration and also a message to the central government, so that central government can also adjust their policies according to these suggestions from the cities. So it's a very true case of multi-level collaboration, in addition to their city-to-city collaboration. So thank you very much for this wonderful example. So I was planning to have Yana from California State to speak, but we are still waiting for her. So I'll jump to Maimuna from Kuala Lumpur Mayor. So please, from your wide experience, please share us what you have been doing and your expectations to this COP. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Moderator. For the past 6 years, I was the Under Secretary General and Executive Director of UN Habitat. I've been a mayor of Kuala Lumpur when I came back, only from the 15th of August. So I will share with you for the past 2 months what I'm trying to do, and also from the work of the Kuala Lumpur all this while to tackle climate action through multi-level climate multi-level climate actions. So thank you so much for your appreciation to the host. Thank you so much for inviting me, and it's a very good afternoon, and Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Let me introduce Kuala Lumpur as a growing city, and I'm also the first female mayor of Kuala Lumpur after 15 male mayor, and you can see that the challenges and the expectation from the people in Kuala Lumpur on me. And a growing city of a population of 1.9 million in the CBD, serving a metropolitan area of 8 million totally. And this is, as you know, that Kuala Lumpur is also a major engine of growth in Malaysia. And indeed, like many other cities, I think Kuala Lumpur makes up the bulk of the GDP of the country. At the same time, it's also a place where Malaysia's climate goals have the best chance of succeeding. And I'm therefore pleased to highlight a few other Kuala Lumpur commitments to reducing the city's environmental impact. To me, these efforts are also about self-preservation, behavioral change, our own behavioral change within the citizen. In the past 8 months, which I have returned to Malaysia after my 6 years, I have seen the first impact. On the 5th day, as a mayor in Kuala Lumpur, it was flooding in Kuala Lumpur. And then this is on the 6th day, we experienced a sinkhole in Kuala Lumpur. You can imagine that for the first month, I'm very, very challenging for me. And at the same time, I really have the first hand of the impact of climate change in Kuala Lumpur, heavy rainfall, at the same time rising temperature and also frequent flash floods. So from the middle income countries like Malaysia, extreme climate event and greater challenges to achieve the SDG. And at the same time, we realize that we need to change the way that we are urbanizing. So I introduced the plan-led development. And now the plan hopefully can be endorsed by the city in March next year. The old model is leading to increased greenhouse emission. At the same time, during the 2015 Paris Agreement, I think Malaysia voluntarily pledged to cut the carbon intensity by 45% in 2030. So our challenge is now how to achieve that. I think this is all also the same with other countries. Speaking now as a mayor of Kuala Lumpur, we initiated a low carbon strategy with 245 programs. I'm looking at under the Kuala Lumpur Low Carbon Society Master Plan 2030. We have the low carbon strategy. I introduced also the Kuala Lumpur Low Carbon Society because we need the society, we need the community together with us 2030, which aim to reduce the GSD intensity by 70% by 2030. So in line with the vision to become carbon neutral by 2050, the Kuala Lumpur Climate Action Plan, we have the Kuala Lumpur Climate Action Plan 2050 highlights the action required to achieve the climate goals. So this approach is also incorporated in our Kuala Lumpur strategic plan. And at the same time, we came out with a declared action. We don't want declaration, we want declared action. Declaration plus action, plus funding, plus implementation, and according to our NDC. So in line with the strategy, Kuala Lumpur City Hall's management, we have the City Hall's Kuala Lumpur Energy Management Plan 2020 being developed, exploring the innovative way on renewable energy, enhancing energy efficiency, conducting feasibility study on implementing district cooling system in our city. And we also have developed Kuala Lumpur low carbon building checklist. If you want to have your plan approved in Kuala Lumpur, one of the checklists is low carbon. It's how green is your building. That is one of the checklists before you get endorsed and be allowed to develop. So next year, we will become the chair of ASEAN. I think this is the opportunity for all in the ASEAN countries. We welcome the partnership and the best practices from Japan. We work very close with Japan. There are so many Japanese companies in Kuala Lumpur, in Malaysia. We would like you to be with us, and also to thank you to the other cities in Japan like Tokyo, Sataima, and also the Troika. To C40, ICLE, IGs, and also CityNet, GCOM, work together with Kuala Lumpur. And at the same time, I believe that we need a comprehensive integrated approach in order to tackle or to realize a sound material cycle society through multi-level climate action. So finally, I would like to bring towards you that we just came back from World Urban Forum in Cairo. They came to the call to action at the level, at the city level. And I would like to share with you also that the building for the future, I think we have no time. I think we have very, very limited time to reach 2030 and very limited time for us to implement. So I would like to end. Let us aspire to inspire before we expire. Because once we expire, you cannot do anything anymore. And let us transform our behavior to be more sound material cycle society through multi-level climate action, through the principle of 4Ps, public, private, people partnership. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mayor Maimuna. It's great to know that you have already made a huge progress, and we can expect more to happen with your strong leadership. So coming months and years. So thank you very much. Now we have Secretary of State from California State, Yana Garcia. Very pleasure to have you here. So I would like to ask your intervention. We all know that you had an election recently, but we are focusing on multi-level collaboration on how our local governments are working on realizing net zero through sound material circle society.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be here. Very, very honored to be here with so many of you doing so much in material circularity. I want to talk a little bit about California being at the forefront of leadership in this space. And first, I'll just say, no matter who is in the White House, California has led previously and will continue to lead. That goes for our climate policies, it goes for our commitments, it goes for our commitment to achieve carbon neutrality by 2045, which does require, as our models have shown, a 90% reduction in fossil fuel use and consumption. And part of that will require cutting fossil fuel production that is used for plastics. And so I want to talk a little bit about two materials that I'm particularly proud of the work that we're doing to achieve circularity and waste reduction. California is well on its way now, I'm very proud to say, to really embrace and catalyze a truly circular economy, where we're eliminating waste from our waste streams and from harming our environment and our ecosystems and our communities, looking for every product and material to have a secondary use and to recycle where possible. When it comes to plastics, we know that not only are fossil fuels used to produce plastics, but we will simply not meet our climate targets if we do not address plastic production. Plastic production will account for the majority of climate emissions by 2050. And that's something that we have to address. And so in California, what we've done through the implementation of SB 54, a new law that's come into place over the past couple of years, is really started to think about the responsibility of producers rather than consumers of plastics to handle their waste. So we're looking at cutting the production of plastics by at least 25%, making sure that all packaging ceases to contain plastic so that can be reused in a circular economy, so that can be compostable. And we're doing so, again, with the focus on producers rather than consumers. We're actually shifting up to $5 billion in investments that would go normally to recycling, actually to back into communities that have been harmed by plastic production. I don't know if some of you may be aware of this, but California has also entered the fray into many climate risk lawsuits where we are suing oil and gas companies for their impact of climate change, but also for the false pretense that they've put forward in the production of plastics. As fossil fuel companies cease to produce fossil fuels for the transportation sector, they're really increasing the fossil fuel use for plastic production. And that has to be part of the story that we're telling and the solutions that we build. Finally, as was mentioned this morning, with respect to the presence of microplastics in our waste streams and our systems, there's far too much of this in our water bodies. In California, we are an arid state. We also need to recycle our water to be able to produce water for generations to come. That means we must take plastics out of our waste streams in that respect. In addition to the work we're doing on plastics, overall, we anticipate that a truly circular economy can actually lead to cutting 300 billion tons of global climate emissions by 2100. And in California alone would create $142 billion in new revenue streams with 128,000 green jobs. This is something that we have to remember when we think about the pain points on industry, when we think about the pain points on the economy. Our solutions deserve us making our way through those pain points to get to the benefit on the other side. Now, the other thing that I'm very proud of that we're doing in California is that we are actually looking at the ways in which we're diverting organic waste in a way that is multi-beneficial. Now, in the plastics context, we're looking at reduced fossil fuel consumption, use and production, reduced microplastics and plastic waste in our waste streams, and benefits to health in communities. When we look at organics and landfill waste, we're looking at cutting methane, a super pollutant that is accelerating climate change and accelerating the pace at which we're seeing the climate crisis impact our communities. But we're also seeing that we can salvage food. We can work with food banks and local communities to ensure that usable food does not go into landfills when it can actually go to feed the over 5 million Californians who struggle with food access. And I'm sure they are not alone across many of the places that you work with. The other thing that I think our work in methane really shows us, as we've led in accelerating the Subnational Methane Action Coalition, which we now have several members who have joined. It's intended to complement the Global Methane Pledge to reduce and slash methane emissions at the local and subnational level, is that we work best when we work in local, subnational, and national partnership. And I think the subnational and local partnership will only be that much more important, certainly for us in California, but likely for many of us as we go through so many shifts in geopolitical dynamics that require us to look at home and to work within the integral fabric of our communities. That's what I have to share for now, and I look forward to hearing from so many of you. Certainly, with our Japanese counterparts, having the most amount of circularity, least amount of waste. We have much to learn from you. So thank you so much for having us here today, and I look forward to hearing from more of you.
Thank you very much, Secretary Garcia. And thank you for making that link between the plastic and climate, because we all know that after this COP29, there will be a INC5 meeting, which will be held in Korea, in Busan. And that will be another very important occasion for the local governments too.
And I should mention California will actually be present at the INC5 in part because of our plastics pollution reduction law, and are very much looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So now I would like to move on to another global leader on climate change, of course, Tokyo Metropolitan Government. So Governor Koike, please introduce your leading examples, what you're doing in Tokyo. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Uchida-san, for introducing me. And I'd like to say hello to everyone. And I'm Koike Yuriko, Governor of Tokyo, 14 million inhabitants living in the capital of Japan. And I'm a former Minister of the Environment, so the former colleagues are here, and I'm very happy to be with them as well. And thank you very much for inviting me to this wonderful occasion sponsored by ICLEI Japan, and I just thank you very much. Now, as the theme of this session suggests, multi-level collaboration is essential all the time. And at this time of intensifying climate crisis across the globe, in pursuing the 1.5 degrees Celsius target. But I read a bad news today that WMO has announced that already the global average temperature has exceeded 1.5 degrees Celsius. But we keep on going, okay? And Tokyo is working with diverse actors to have greenhouse gas emissions by 2030 and realize zero emission Tokyo by 2050, and making advanced efforts to achieve these goals. Now, since the time is running short, so I'd like to squeeze into three challenges that Tokyo City, the Tokyo metropolitan government is challenging. One is power generating future city. And Tokyo has a large concentration of buildings, you can imagine, which account for over 70% of CO2 emission. And to maximize the potential of all these rooftops of the buildings and housing and everything, and next April, we are launching a new system mandating the installation of solar panels on new houses and buildings. Spearheaded by Tokyo, the program is making its way to other cities across Japan. And next generation solar cells, which is originated in Japan and are extremely thin and lightweight and bendable, so that they can be applied on non-flat surfaces, such as the walls of high-rise buildings. And they will also be installed around the venues of 2025 World Athletic Championship that TMG is going to host next year, allowing you to see the actual progress of implementation. And right here at the Japan Pavilion, you can find various exhibits of Japanese technologies. And Tokyo will swiftly implement the ever-evolving technologies of our country to realize a power-generating future city capable of producing electricity in every area. Second, about the green hydrogen. Green hydrogen with zero CO2 emission from the manufacturing stage is also expected to play a major role in achieving a sustainable society. And the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, TMG, is implementing its hydrogen policy from the three viewpoints of tsukuru, hakobu, tsukau in Japanese, but in English, producing, transporting, and utilizing. Currently, we are working to develop green hydrogen production sites on our properties and establish a supply system, including pipelines, to utilize green hydrogen from overseas. Approximately 120 fuel cell buses and 100 fuel cell trucks are already running on the streets of Tokyo. And with further commercial use of hydrogen on the horizon. At last year's COP28 in Dubai, we announced our plan to establish a hydrogen exchange in Tokyo. Now, this fiscal year, we will conduct the world's first trial trading of green hydrogen in a market environment. This is quite new. And we will also expand our overseas partnership by promoting alliances with New South Wales of Australia and other international cities and organizations, where the goal to establish global supply chains and develop technologies. Third, Tokyo Resilience Project. Tokyo Metropolitan Government is currently pushing the Tokyo Resilience Project to protect the lives and property of the people from increasingly severe and frequent storm and flood disasters. We had just witnessed how bad the flood is in Valencia, Spain. It was really so sad. The total project scale into the 2040s expected to be 17 trillion yen, 110 billion US dollars. And as a measure against flooding, we are pushing the construction of vast regulating reservoirs under roads and parks to store part of the flood waters and prevent rivers from overflowing. We are also working to build underground rivers that connect the regulating reservoirs to Tokyo Bay. And for storm surge measures, besides progressively raising seawalls, we are introducing green infrastructure that infiltrates rainwater to prevent urban flooding. With the spirit of always be prepared, we will build a resilient and sustainable city where people can live with peace of mind for the next 100 years. I'm very happy to be with Mayor Sharif today, Kuala Lumpur, because Tokyo Metropolitan Government and the City of Kuala Lumpur has signed an MOU, Memorandum of Understanding, to cooperate many variety of fields, including to the countermeasure of climate change and including the flooding measures. And actually, the underground tunnel that you can have a look. We are sharing the technology and the wisdom in order to save people's lives and the properties. Now, last but not least, with its responsibility as a megacity, as I mentioned, the number of people living in Tokyo is 14 million, and the daytime, at least 3 million people come and go to Tokyo. 300 million are coming to work and study. So it's our responsibility, huge responsibility. Tokyo will strive to achieve carbon neutrality in Japan and in the world, collaborating with local governments and the private sector at home and abroad. And let us confirm the crisis facing us and inspire cities to call on the world to take action on climate change. I also would like to stress that Tokyo is holding Sushi Tech Tokyo every year. This is not an event to inform you how to cook sushi, but this is a combination of sustainability with high technology. So two together become sushi, very tasty. And very important concept. I hope you like it. Thank you very much. Please come and join us.
Thank you very much, Governor Koike. It's wonderful to hear the megacities such as Tokyo taking lead on many, many directions to incentivize as well as to cooperate with other cities to really deliver the experience to others to learn. So now I would like to move on to Governor Luis from Amapá State of Brazil. So floor is yours, please.
Bom dia. Bom dia a todos e a todas.
Good morning, everyone.
Quero, em nome da governadora Koike, saudar todos que estão aqui nesse dispositivo, dizer que é uma honra estar aqui, falando de um estado, o estado mais ao norte do Brasil, o estado do Amapá.
In the name of Governor Koiko, it is an honor to be here in this panel with so distinguished guests talking about the northern state of Brazil, the state of Amapá.
Então, Senhoras e senhores, autoridades presentes, estimados representantes do governo japonês e demais convidados,
So, ladies and gentlemen, dear dignitaries,
é com grande honra que apresento o Estado brasileiro do Amapá, aqui nesta COP29.
it is with great honor that I represent the Brazilian state of Amapá at COP29.
E agradeço também a todos os presentes e, muito especialmente, agradeço ao ICLEI, que proporcionou esse momento de aproximação entre a Amazônia e o Japão.
I thank everyone present, and I also thank ICLEI for providing this moment of reapproachment between the Amazon in Brazil and Japan.
Este é um momento único, uma oportunidade de fortalecer os laços entre o Amapá e o Japão, um país que respeitamos e admiramos profundamente.
This is a unique moment and an opportunity to strengthen ties between Amapá and Japan, a country that we deeply respect and admire.
Com sua cultura, inovação tecnológica, compromisso ambiental, o Japão nos inspira e nós acreditamos que juntos podemos pavimentar um caminho para um futuro mais sustentável e próspero.
With its culture, technological innovation, and environmental commitment, Japan inspires us, and we believe that together we can pave the way for a more sustainable and prosperous future.
Bom, nós estamos localizados no extremo norte do Brasil,
We are located in the extreme north of Brazil,
e o Amapá é um dos estados menos densamente povoados.
and Amapá is one of the least densely populated states,
Em uma vasta área de 143 mil quilômetros quadrados.
in a vast area of over 142,000 square kilometers.
Como muitos estados do Brasil, o nosso estado é muito maior que muitos países espalhados pelo mundo.
As in many states in Brazil, our territory is broader than many countries around the world.
A floresta amazônica cobre praticamente todo o nosso território.
The Amazon rainforest covers practically all of our territory,
E tem 97% da sua vegetação original ainda preservada.
with 97% of our original vegetation still preserved.
Isso nos torna o estado brasileiro mais preservado do Brasil
This makes us the best preserved state in Brazil,
e também nós temos cerca de 73,5% do nosso território protegido por algum tipo de reserva.
and we also have around 73% of our territory protected by any type of law.
Também fomos o primeiro estado brasileiro a demarcar todas as suas terras indígenas sem nenhum conflito.
We were also the first state in Brazil to protect by law all indigenous territories with no conflict.
Então, nós temos muito orgulho em dizer que o Amapá é o estado brasileiro que tem os melhores indicadores ambientais do país.
So we are proud to announce that Amapá is the state in Brazil with the best environmental indexes.
Somos um estado carbono negativo
We are a neutral carbon state,
e, consecutivamente, o Amapá é o estado que menos desmata. Ou melhor, nós somos desmatamento zero consecutivamente há muitos anos.
we are a zero deforestation state as well for many, many years.
Por outro lado, e esse é um dos motivos que me traz aqui na COP29, nós temos uma população muito empobrecida.
On the other hand, we have also a very impoverished people.
E o que nós queremos é mostrar ao mundo que essa mensagem precisa ser diferente. O Estado que mais protegeu e preservou também tem o direito de ser o Estado que se desenvolveu.
And we want to bring a different perspective to the world. The state that historically has best preserved their land and the forests also need to be a socially developed state.
Porque senão, governadora, estamos passando uma mensagem errada para o mundo. A mensagem é que aqueles que desmataram enriqueceram, e aqueles que protegeram, que conservaram, empobreceram.
If we don't do so, we are sending the wrong message to the world, because the ones that have deforested, they developed, and now they are rich. But the ones that preserved, they are now poor. So this cycle cannot keep on.
E nós queremos passar a mensagem seguinte: quem protegeu, quem não desmatou, quem conservou, também se desenvolveu.
We want to build and to create a new history, a new chapter, where the ones that preserved, the ones that protected the land, the forest, and the people have also reached development.
Por isso, essa oportunidade que o ICLEI está nos dando, para nós, é muito importante, de falar isso ao Japão e convidar o Japão para estreitarmos mais ainda laços de cooperação.
For this, the opportunity that ICLEI and the Japanese pavilion brought us is very important, not only to try to define and achieve new development models, but also to develop new cooperation with Japan and other countries.
Queremos ajuda, precisamos de ajuda, e ela pode se dar numa cooperação de alto nível, promovendo a preservação ambiental e gerando desenvolvimento local.
We want help, we need help, and we need in partnership, in cooperation, to find ways to develop a new chapter of how to develop our territories from now on.
Agora deixa eu voltar para o meu texto.
Now I'm going back to my text.
A relação entre o Amapá e o Japão não é de agora. Em 2023, comemoramos 70 anos da imigração japonesa em nosso estado.
The relationship between Amapá and Japan is not new. In 2023, we celebrated 70 years of the Japanese immigration to our state.
Os japoneses, ao chegar no Amapá, chegaram movidos pela esperança de construir uma vida nova.
Japanese that immigrated to Amapá came driven by the hope of building a new life.
E trouxeram consigo valores como disciplina, respeito ao meio ambiente e uma conexão profunda com a terra.
They brought with them values such as discipline, respect for the environment, and a deep connection with the land.
E ao longo dos anos, a comunidade japonesa no Amapá contribuiu não apenas para a agricultura e para a gastronomia,
And over the years, the Japanese community in Amapá has contributed not only to agriculture and gastronomy,
mas também para a disseminação de práticas e tecnologias sustentáveis, inspirando gerações de amapaenses.
but also to the dissemination of sustainable practices and technologies, inspiring generations of Amapá residents.
Uma curiosidade sobre a imigração japonesa para o Amapá é que, em determinado momento, os japoneses chegaram por São Paulo, pelo Pará, pelo Paraná e pelo Amapá.
Something curious is that when the Japanese immigration came to Brazil, they came from 4 different places: São Paulo, Pará, Paraná, and Amapá.
Só que, em um determinado momento, pela falta de infraestrutura, de universidades, por exemplo, os japoneses passaram a migrar para o Pará, para São Paulo, até mesmo voltando para o Japão, porque não tinha no Amapá essa infraestrutura por conta da falta de desenvolvimento local.
But considering the lack of infrastructure and services in the state, some of the migrants end up in other places, in other states like Pará, São Paulo, or even back to Japan.
Então, temos ainda uma colônia japonesa forte no Amapá, que contribui muito com o nosso desenvolvimento, e vejo aqui nessa relação com a governadora de Tóquio mais uma possibilidade de estreitarmos relações, de cooperarmos.
We still have a very broad population, Japanese population living in Amapá, and we see now in this partnership, in this panel, possibilities of moving further in a cooperation between Amapá and Japan.
Lá no Amapá, nós temos uma empresa japonesa de grande porte, que é a Ansel, que é subsidiária do grupo Nippon Paper.
There is in Amapá also a very important Japanese company.
No entanto, nós acreditamos que essa parceria pode e deve ser estreitada muito mais, e ela ainda é muito pequena perto do que nós podemos fazer em termos de relações e cooperação.
We think there is a big room for improvement in the cooperation that we now have.
Só para dar um exemplo aqui, o Amapá, graças à sua posição estratégica, é um lugar ideal para a geração de energias renováveis, especialmente a solar e a eólica.
Considering Amapá's strategic location, it is one of the hotspots for sustainable development, especially solar.
Nós temos 12 horas por dia de sol e, em boa parte, temos ventos constantes.
We have 12 hours of sun and constant flow of wind. Also, temos que começar. Mais ou menos o tempo. Terminar.
The governor has to leave because of another appointments. Apologize for
A
intervention.
governadora teve que
Sorry.
sair, então está pedindo licença. Ele pediu para a gente encaminhar para o final.
E então, temos muitas possibilidades de cooperação. E como eu ouvi falar aqui, energia renovável, esse tema é um tema que interessa a ambos. Temos um atlas de energia solar, está saindo um de energia eólica, temos floresta e muitas possibilidades de avançarmos na bioeconomia, que é o nosso carro-chefe, junto com a energia renovável.
We are creating new strategies of development for the state. One of them is focused on solar, but we are also thinking on wind, bioeconomy, and different methods to achieve the sustainable development we need.
E dessa forma, eu deixo aqui o convite a todas e todos que estão aqui para conhecer o estado do Amapá, que é o estado mais preservado, mais protegido e com inúmeras possibilidades de cooperação que associem preservação ambiental e desenvolvimento econômico. Muito obrigado.
So I invite all of you that probably might be at COP30 next year in the Amazon to come visit Amapá, the most preserved and the most one of the most beautiful states in Brazil. So we'll be glad to welcome you in Brazil next year. And thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Governor. And I think many of us here would also visit COP30 that's coming up next year. So thank you very much for the introduction. I would like to move on to Nina from Turku City Council of Finland for what you are doing in your city.
Thank you so much, and thank you for having me here today. It's my very pleasure. Thank you for sharing your stories. I think it's been very inspirational for me and for our big crowd as well. And I'm very happy to be here with the Friends of Circular Economy. And today I would like to showcase you briefly our roadmap in City of Turku to our circular economy future. City of Turku lies in the southwest coast of Finland, so we go north from here quite a bit to the shores of Baltic Sea. Our visionary plan is designed to transform our city into a model of sustainability and resilience and inclusivity. You can, perfect. We are the oldest city in Finland, and we will have our 800th birthday in 2029. We, in our city council, once we were thinking what would be the perfect birthday gift for our city, for its future and our future generations when we have our birthday of 800 years. And we have a variety of set, but one of the most crucial and I think strategically most important is our promise to become carbon neutral in 2029, by 2029 actually. That is the promise that we want to give the next generations in our city, that this city is a good place to live and good place to have a family and move into. And I have heard very good comments on bringing in the society and people from previous speakers. I think it's very important also to communicate to people what we want to give them and how. Our circular economy roadmap, it sets its foundation for a resource-wise city where we sustainably use our resources and minimize waste and also cut emissions altogether. we have 4 strategic aims in crucial role in our roadmap. But the roadmap itself, it focuses on 5 critical areas: energy systems, food, water, buildings, and transportation. Quite similar that we experience in all cities. You can take the next slide. First of all, in energy systems, we are shifting to circular low-carbon energy sources. And through innovations like waste, heat recovery, and renewable energy storage, we are aiming to make the city energy smart, resilient, and highly efficient. In food systems, we're supporting local, sustainable food production and waste reduction across the whole food value chain. And very importantly, when it comes to climate crisis and aftermath of the events, water systems and water circularity. It's very important for us that we recycle wastewater very efficiently and capture also energy from it. That has high priority in our agenda. We're working on recycling also our urban runoff, managing stormwaters, and further protecting water resources that are not scarce in our city, but are scarce in the planet altogether. Very important for housing and people, the construction sector. It has a massive carbon footprint. But by focusing on modular designs, reused materials, and existing building lifespans, we build on future where structures also are adaptable, resource efficient, and contribute to circular economy. More and more citizens in Turku are able to live in buildings and houses that are wooden made, which is efficient for our climate targets as well. Then I think the most, at least for us, the most challenging part, transport and logistics. But to support low carbon, resource efficient transport, we are at the moment prioritizing development of shared mobility, active transport options like cycling and walking, also beneficial for the well-being of the people, and optimizing logistics to reduce emissions, as well as we are introducing new carbon-free means and innovations in public transportation. Next, please. And those were some of the city roles, and that was the end of the presentation. But in final words, we have been working quite a lot when it comes to climate strategies, biodiversity strategies, and now also circular economy. It has been very important for us to partner with other cities and networks like ICLEI. Our mayor is the vice president of ICLEI, and it has been very useful for us to be in these kinds of networks. One important notion, I think, now that we are, especially now that we are in the global climate negotiations, is the emissions on how we produce and consume. And this has a lot to do with circular economy. We in our climate plan decided to address not only direct emissions, but also the indirect emissions. Because this cycle, this reusage model that we need to build in cities also help in cities that are suffering from the production and consumerism that we encounter these days. So I think it's very important also to not touch upon direct emissions and outcomes in cities, but also those indirect elsewhere. And I was also asked to conclude our panel or give up my thoughts on the speeches of last speakers.
Can you please be very quick? Sorry, we're pushing time. So.
Yes, okay, very quickly. Well, I think that the audience might agree with me that we usually in cities, we have similar issues and challenges and solutions. But also, I think I've learned new things from all the panelists. We have different solutions and different challenges. And that is the important reason, I think, why we are here. Also to share the knowledge, share the practices, to get to know each other, to go further together. I want to raise one word from the panel in the very beginning. The mayor first talked about expansion. I think that's a very important word and something that cities can well cooperate with. Expansion of sustainable policies, expansion of ambition. That is what we are good for. And I think we have heard many examples on expansion of ambition as well. I have felt today during this panel a spark of hope. to be honest, I need it sometimes when I follow climate news regarding climate crisis and negotiations in these venues. We need a spark of hope. I have experienced it during this panel. I hope that me and all of us are also able to take the spark from here back home, because our citizens need the spark too, and we are very important contributors to that spark to go on. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Nina. So I would like to conclude this session, this part of the session. We have another one coming up. So I think it's very important to note that this is the beginning of the COP, and the local governments are active, as you can see in the panel. We have multi-level action pavilion in other parts of this zone and pavilion, where we are really trying to influence the negotiation and send up this positive message, the expansion, that is what we want to see. So I hope that the listeners have also felt that, we are all moving towards one direction to really move forward to the zero carbon. So thank you very much for all the panelists. Can you please give one round of applause? And I will pass my microphone to Fujino-san. I am so sorry for the delay of the program. So the panelists?
Yeah. Okay. Well, so still we will continue another 10, 20 minutes. So, and good news that there is no side event here today. So, but I don't want to extend too much. We need expansion, but we don't need so much extension. So, okay, let's have the second session. So I would like to invite the Shimizu-san again. So this session is action session. So first, I would like to invite the Mayor Shimizu again for your remarks, because we already have action in this morning, and then we'd like to share our action. So Shimizu-san, please.
Once again, I'm Hayato Shimizu, Mayor of Saitama City. Now, with the support of IG's Saitama City, together with Tokyo Metropolitan Government, has been cooperating with the decarbonization policy of Kuala Lumpur City, Malaysia. We have exchanged various views and opinions, and we believe that Saitama City's high airtight and high thermal isolation construction method and architecture using sustainable building materials such as timber through proper forest management can contribute to the decarbonization of Malaysia. We are pleased to announce that the tax Seri Hasni of the Johor Sustainability Center has agreed to join us in these initiatives, and we have signed an LOI for future collaboration and policy proposals. We hope that collaboration and cooperation between Johor Sustainability Center, University Technology Malaysia, IG's Takasago Construction, and Saitama City will contribute to carbon neutrality in Malaysia and other countries. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you very much. This is LOI. Okay, please show the first slide from the Tokyo. Just a moment. So yes, this morning, 9:30, we have a signing ceremony between the Mayor Hayato Shimizu and also the Chief Chairman, Dato Seri Hasni, Johor Sustainability Center. Next slide, please. And then this is the LOI we will share later. And next, please. As the mayor mentioned, we focus on the collaboration of sustainable timber construction. Timber is a key material to having the sound society. So we focusing on this one. And then I also would like to share the video message from the YB Dato Seri Hasni. We just took his video 2 hours before in this venue. So let's look at his message to you, all of you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Fujino-san. My name is Hasni Muhammad. I'm from Johor, Malaysia. Johor is located at the southern tip of Malaysia, next to Singapore, and I am very happy and honored and felt humble at the same time because I was given the opportunity today to speak to the Japan Pavilion, and this morning we had an opportunity to sign a letter of intent to collaborate with the Saitama City in developing low carbon building structure involving wood technology, which we have managed to develop together with Akasago Construction Company. This morning I was honored to be with the Mayor of Saitama City together with the President of Vice President of JICA. We signed the letter of intent, and we hope that with this collaboration we will be able to strengthen our cooperation. We look forward to be able to share a lot more of knowledge and technology between Johor and Japan. I understand that Johor is not the first time working with Saitama City, especially Johor Bahru City Council that has experience in the past working together with Saitama City. And under the Johor Sustainability Center, where I am the chairman, we will work more closely together to share more information with matters relating to climate change, with matters relating to green technology, renewable energy. These are the areas that we will enhance further. And Johor would like to express our appreciation to the Mayor of Saitama City, to the Governor of the Tokyo Metropolitan Government, for giving Johor, especially myself, an opportunity to work together. And I look forward to this new joint effort in promoting low carbon building, especially in the state of Johor, because His Majesty is very keen to see that more community building can be developed, which is more environmental friendly. So I am so grateful because we are collaborating with Akasago Construction, and hopefully that with this collaboration we'll be able to not just benefit the state of Johor, but for the whole of Malaysia. So on that note, I would like to thank everyone from IGES, especially Mr. Fujino-san and Mr. Ono-san, the Vice Director of IGES, for giving me an opportunity to work with such a distinguished individual from Japan. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah, unfortunately, Dr. Seri Hasni need to go back to the Johor. Even he lovely want to join today's session, but so we took the video. So next slide, please show the next slide from the Tokyo side. And so I would like to shortly explain why we have this action. So, for example, so last month we joined the Time to Act with the Governor Koike, and then I do. Next slide, please. And for this session, the Dr. Selim Hasni also joined. Also, there is a director from the Kuala Lumpur city. Next slide, please. We also visited the Saitama Youth Center, because Johor need to develop the timber construction building. And so we need to see the reality. Next slide, please. And then next slide, please. So background is we start this journey from the 2019. We start the Tokyo Care low carbon system, because the care needs a solution Tokyo is the first city to start the cap and trade system at the city level. Next slide, please. And then Governor Koike and then the former mayor invited to the MOEJ city conference, and then former Minister Koizumi very much appreciate this city-to-city collaboration. Next slide, please. And then they have a good award by GC40. Next slide, please. Then next, Kei said that she would like to develop the low carbon zone, zero carbon zone, like a Japanese 脱炭素先行地域. Next slide, please. So this is the reason why I invite Saitama City, because Saitama City already have the smart home community in Urawamisono area, just the very close to the station. Next slide, please. And also, we invited the Takasago Construction Company, who is good for sustainable wood architecture with a highly airtight and insulated house. Next slide, please. And then the mayor, Shimizu Hayato, kindly visited the Kuala Lumpur city last year, and then we have a high-level seminar. Next slide, please. And then this year, the UTM expert visited the forest, the Hanno area, to see the reality, how to cut the tree, how to, foster the tree, and then to prepare the timber materials to develop the housing. Next slide, please. And next slide. But we also have history. And then last year, Johor Sustainability Center was born with a witness of Johor Queen. And now she is a national queen for next 4 years. Next slide, please. And then why there is such an event? Because I think we have a satraps since 2011 in Johor. Next slide, please. We firstly developed the first Asian cities scenario, low carbon scenarios using the AIM, Asia Pacific Integrated Modeling. Next slide, please. And then this activity is highly appreciated by the JICA side, and then it's shared like JICA's world. Next slide, please. And then this morning, thank you very much, the Miyazaki-san, for joining the signing ceremony as a witness. So we have next version for the challenge. Next slide, please. So to be continued, and then we are still on the journey, and then how to expand our journey, also to having a sustainable society. So lastly, I would like to invite the Mayor Shimizu.
Okay, anyway, let's expand to action and challenge and collaboration for decarbonization between local government. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, so I'd like to pass my ball to the final concluding remarks. Yes, or to the Senior Vice President Miyazaki-san.
Good afternoon, and I'm Katsura Miyazaki, Executive Senior Vice President and Chief Sustainability Officer of Japan International Cooperation Agency, JICA. As we conclude this seminar, I am both pleased and encouraged by the initiatives and our innovative initiative for realizing a sound material cycle society that are taking place around the world. And after hearing about this initiative, I cannot help but reflect on JICA's own effort to foster a carbon neutral society involving collaboration between national and local governments, particularly in developing countries. Urban areas play a pivotal role in implementing national determined contributions, NDCs, as they account for about 70% of greenhouse gas emissions. Moreover, in regions like Asia and Africa, the growth of informal settlements increases vulnerability to climate risks. Therefore, establishing robust frameworks at the local level is essential for effective climate action. This is also crucial for realizing JICA's mission of human security, which ensures that all individuals can live with dignity and free from fear and want. In conclusion, I hope today's seminar prompts earnest dialogue among diverse stakeholders that is conducive to generating more co-creation initiatives capable of building a sustainable and equitable society for everyone. Thank you very much for your attention. Thank you very much.
So that concludes the session. Thank you very much for all your participation, and apologize again for extending the time. But thank you so much.